organizational meeting of the Board of Supervisors on January the 5th, 2026 to order. The first item on the agenda is a resolution to appoint the chairman of the Louisiana County Board of Supervisors for 2026, and I will now open the floor for nominations.
Mr. Chairman, I nominate Dwayne Adams.
Second.
Nomination and a second for Mr. Adams. Are there further nominations? Hearing none, I'll close the nominations. This is supposed to be by roll call vote, so Mr. McCotter,
Aye.
Ms. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
Aye.
Yeah, okay.
Mr. Adams,
Yes.
Mr. Barlow, Mr. Barnes,
Yes.
Mr. Woodward.
Yes.
Congratulations, Mr. Adams. You are the chairman of the board.
Goodness, no more. No, I want to take my vote back.
And immediately break protocol. Well, thank you all. I appreciate that very much. Next item of business is a resolution to appoint the vice chairman of the Louisiana County Board of Supervisors for 2026.
Mr. Chairman, I nominate Mr. Barlow.
All right, there's been nomination and a second for Mr. Barlow. Are there any other nominations? I'll close the nominations. We'll do a roll call. Mr. McCotter,
Yes.
Mrs. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
Yeah, okay.
Mr. Adams. Oh, yes. Mr. Barlow,
Yes.
Mr. Barnes,
Yes.
Mr. Woodward.
Yes.
All right, congratulations, Mr. Barlow. Next is a resolution establishing the Board of Supervisors meeting times and dates for 2026.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded that we establish the meeting dates, which are in your packet. I will note the only change from all previous schedules is that the May meeting is on the first and the fourth Mondays instead of the first and the third.
April, right?
April, I said May, I'm sorry, April. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's,
only
yeah.
a month earlier.
Yeah, it's a month earlier. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next is a resolution adopting the bylaws of the Board of Supervisors.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded that we adopt the bylaws. There is one change that I'll point out that under moving forward, under unfinished business, which is item number 7, item number 8 will go to a standing position of supervisor comments, and that will be added in. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Let's see, 5 o'clock. We will now entertain a motion to go into closed session.
So move.
You got to read it.
Oh, my bad.
Better read it. Instead of just doing something moving, I'm just thinking, maybe we should read it. Maybe.
Maybe. In accordance with Section 2.2, 3711A1, discussion, consideration, or interviews of prospective candidates for employment, assignment, appointment, promotion, performance, demotion, salaries, discipline, or resignation of specific public officers, appointees, or employees of any public body, and evaluation of performance of the departments, and in accordance with Section 2.2, 3711A5, discussion concerning prospective business or industry or the expansion of an existing business or industry in the Apple Grove District where no previous announcement has been made of the business or industry's interest in locating or expanding its facilities in the community. 3, in accordance with Section 2.2, 3711A8, consultation with legal counsel employed or retained by a public body regarding specific legal matters requiring the provision of legal advice by such counsel.
Is there a second?
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded. We go into closed session. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. We're in closed session, but we're going to take pictures, so don't anybody move.
You wanna raise Mr. Chairman, I move we go back into open session.
Been properly moved and second that we go back into open session. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. We're back into open session. I will now poll members to certify that, to the best of your knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from the open meeting requirements under the Virginia Freedom of Information Act and is identified in the motion for which the closed meeting was convened were discussed and considered by the board. If any member believes that the board varied from the purposes stated for the closed meeting, please state so and the reason prior to casting a vote. Mr. McCotter?
Yes.
Mrs. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Barlow?
Yes.
Mr. Barnes?
Yes.
Mr. Woodward?
Yes.
All right, we're back into open session. This is the first meeting of 2026 of the Louisa County Board of Supervisors. I'd like to welcome those of you who are in attendance here in the public meeting room, those who are joining us online. Earlier today, we had our annual organizational meeting. I want to thank the board for re-electing me as chairman. It's my honor to continue to serve in that capacity. And also, Mr. Barlow was re-elected as vice chairman.
Thanks as well.
We will now start this meeting, as we always do, with the invocation followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. If you would like to join us, please stand. Most gracious Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight thankful for the opportunity to conduct the business of the people of Louisa County. We thank you for the blessings that you've given our county. We ask that you would continue to bless our county. We ask that you would continue to give guidance to the board, to staff, to those who are charged with carrying out the mission of this county. Lord, we ask that you would bless the people who keep us safe, both near and far, and keep them safe. We ask all these things in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance First is the adoption of the agenda. Mr. Williams?
Mr. Chairman, with our new bylaws, we added a standing spot on the agenda called supervisor comments, and we'd like to add that tonight in its place where it's going to reside, which is between unfinished business and new business action items.
No, it's not.
Between new business and report.
Reports and officers' standing committees.
Yeah, there. Yes, sir. It's not where you had it drawn.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded that we adopt the agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes unanimously. Next is the approval of the minutes.
So move.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded that we approve the minutes. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, motion passes unanimously. Next is the approval of the bills.
So move.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded that we approve the bills. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, motion passes unanimously. Next is the approval of the consent agenda.
So move.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded that we approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, motion passes unanimously. Next is the public comment period. I do believe I have one card. So public comment is an opportunity for you to address the board on any subject that is not a matter of a public hearing. We do have one public hearing this evening. If you're here for the public hearing, wait till the public hearing. Once I call your name, come to the podium. You have 3 minutes to speak. Please state your name and your voting district. I'll give you a warning when you have 15 seconds. Mrs. Hart.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
Vicki Hart, Town of Louisa, Virginia, 311 Club Road, Louisa. And I have a couple of things I want to talk to you about. One, as you are aware, I tend to follow social media. I don't often comment. I have been paying attention to a lot of what's been said about the members on this board. And I would like to comment that you are extremely transparent. I have seen everything everybody has complained about in prior minutes and prior packages, and if they don't look, they're not going to find it. But you have done everything you can do to get that information out there It is up to the citizens to look to see it, not to assume because it's not said out loud during a board meeting that it does not exist and was never done. So I wanted to thank you guys for what you have put out. And I want you to know that at least one of us appreciates that you actually do your job and you do spend a lot of time and effort on it. The next is, I'd like to thank Parks and Rec for the tree lighting ceremony that we did again every year. It was wonderful as always. And as you know, we have 250th celebration this year. I'm hoping that the county develops a cohesive celebration plan to celebrate all 4 areas of the county and the different lives that we have and the different towns that we have, and to make it a unified message. Council in town has not discussed this issue yet, but I'm hoping that that is the end result. And with that, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hart. So I don't have any more cards. Is there anyone else that would wish to address the board? All right, seeing none, I'll close the public comment period. We do have one item under information discussion item, and that is the 2026 election schedule. And that's Mr. Goodwin and Mrs. Watkins. I see Mrs. Watkins here. I don't know who's going to start.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. I'm actually going to cede my time to the registrar. She had shared some information with regard to these are potential changes that may take place in 2026, and I just thought it would be a good opportunity to have her provide some brief remarks tonight and answer any questions that you may have. And I do want to reiterate, this is preliminary at this point. The registrar's office is just trying to be prepared for whatever may need to happen.
Good evening. Yes, I guess that's the main thing I want everyone to understand is that all of this is just proposed and we don't know what is going to happen. But I feel like it's in our best interest to let you all know what might be coming, as well as working with the schools since we use so many schools. So I've also let Mr. Straley know that we may have some extra elections. And so right now the schedule that I think is in your packet shows a possible special election in April. And then the June primary, it could be in June, or it could be pushed to August, or it could be in June and August. So we don't know. Everything hinges on what happens with the General Assembly, which goes into session on January the 14th. So, and then of course we'll have the November general. So it's difficult for us with all the requirements we have to have an election period for less than $25,000. So if we're going to have 2, 3, or 4, we only budget for the November general and 1 primary. So that's the reason that I wanted you all to know that this might be coming down the road. Wow. Do y'all have any questions for me?
You may have any questions?
Mr. Chairman? Can you
Cobb.
tell me what the current budget is?
For
You say we could have 3 elections.
well, we could have 3 or we could have 4.
We could have 4.
And we budget about $25,000 to $35,000 depending on the election.
Right. I wrote that down, but we're not expecting 4.
No, we're not. We didn't budget for 4.
Right. So we budgeted for 2?
We budget for a primary and for a November general.
Okay. So there's a $50,000 potential
Could
shortfall.
be.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman. Ms. Watkins, can you let people know what percentage of that is state, that the state pays us back for?
0.
What'd you say, Ms. Watkins?
0.
Thank you, Ms. Watkins.
You might want to have a conversation with David Blunt.
Any other comments? So, thank you, Ms. Watkins. So, I asked for this to be on the agenda so that we could get this update. And the reason is the very fact that these elections cost $25,000 roughly in local money. And the special election that we're talking about that could happen, we don't know. My guess, I would bet a lot of money it will, is due to the redistricting that the General Assembly says that they're going to do on congressional seats. And I was having a conversation with somebody, in this special election, if we have a death or somebody is elevated to another office, that also triggers a special election. But that's a rarity. That's a one-off. This special election, if it happens, is a concerted effort on behalf of the General Assembly to change congressional districts. To me, this falls under the category of an unfunded mandate because they're going to require us to have that election, and we have to pay for it. What I would like to ask the board's permission is that we direct staff to prepare a resolution for us to consider at our next meeting and send it to the Thomas Jefferson Planning District and send it to our 4 legislators to say, if you do require a special election, that you fund it so that the localities, not just Louisa, but every locality, doesn't have to pay for that out of local funding. So if there's no objection to ask for that resolution, I'd like to direct staff to do that.
You need a motion?
It might be.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we have this resolution for approval at our next meeting, and that it be directed to our legislators in the Thomas Jefferson Planning District. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you all. Next up is under new business action items is a resolution requesting recognition of Go Virginia Region 9 as a district tourism region. And I believe Mrs. King. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. So what we're looking to do here is join with our other Go Virginia 9 region partners and ask Virginia Tourism Corporation to create a new region that mirrors Go Region 9 that would be called the Piedmont region. Right now we're in the Central Virginia region. Related but unrelated, right now we don't have a destination development manager through Virginia Tourism Corporation for Central Virginia, so we're the only region in the state that doesn't have that. So a potential perk of this would be this might cause a little bit of shakeup for Virginia tourism, and we might actually have a destination development manager representing us, which would help us be seen more in the VTC materials. Any questions?
Anybody have any questions, Mr. Barlow?
I had written one down when I was reading through this. When I looked at the map, and I don't have it pulled up right now, it looked like the Region 9 was more in the Shenandoah Valley region.
So,
And currently, we're in the Central Virginia region. And maybe you just said it, but I'm trying to figure out what is the reasonable benefit for switching over from the Central to the Shenandoah.
I think for the region, I mean, honestly, too, in the memo, in the packet, it does state that, Louisa honestly joined this effort fairly late. We didn't learn about this until November, and the other partners have been working together for several months on this. But what it would do, we would pull several of the counties out of the current Central Virginia region, and then it would pull some counties out of what's now the Northern Virginia region to create this new region, and it would butt up against the Shenandoah Valley there. But the logic is it really reflects more on how our visitors are traveling between the different counties. Because as of right now, the counties that are considered Northern Virginia, they're not the same as far as economic development as the rest of Northern Virginia, and that's really not how their travelers are traveling. People are coming down into, further into the region, and our visitors aren't necessarily going to Richmond. They could be, but as far as us kind of pushing more into the center of the state, we don't really think that's necessarily what's happening. But I will say, too, that we anticipate a lot of collaboration if we join this effort. Because this group, being a lot of smaller localities and kind of positioned to collaborate with different things. Like, they mentioned the wine trail that they have going on now. I think we'll be able to join forces with them better in this regard.
It certainly seems to be more in line with the type of, in that region. I guess the only other question I would have is you don't see any detriment for getting out of the Central Virginia into the Shenandoah region?
You know, I do not. I think the only detriment I would see is if we did have a destination development manager currently, and then we were at jeopardy of losing that. But given that we don't have representation now, I really don't see a downside to this.
Just clarification, you used the words getting into the Shenandoah region. We're not getting in the Shenandoah region. They're carving a whole new district out, and the Shenandoah is staying intact.
Correct.
It's this side, the mountain.
Yeah, it's all county.
It's Albemarle, Nelson, Culpeper, Madison.
Charlottesville.
We're not joining the
No,
Shenandoah,
no.
we're creating a new region.
There's 10 districts, and they asked them to go to 11, carving us out in the middle between the Shenandoah and the Central. Is that right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Good.
It is, and you've got some of your localities, Mr. Chairman, if I may, some of your localities that are in central Virginia. I mean, Cindy's exactly right. Nothing against a county like Nottaway or Dinwiddie, but I would say we just probably have a lot more in common with a Culpeper than we might with one of them, just from a geographical standpoint.
Right, well, I mean, that is what seemed obvious to me.
Yes, sir.
It's just, I don't know what the drawbacks might be for leaving the Central Virginia and going into that route. If there aren't any, then it's fine with me.
There are no perceived drawbacks. And this would affect the grant process as well, as far as like how the grants are distributed. However, I don't see a negative impact there either.
Any other questions for Mrs. King?
Like Jerry Maguire says, show me the money.
I see here that it's enhancing the region's steep history that serves America's most significant presidents and estates, you know, Monticello, James Madison's Montpelier, and other sites around here. I mean, we all are part of that. I mean, if you think of Jack Jewett's ride to Monticello and so forth, I mean, we're connected with that rich history. So I can see why we would be better aligned with these counties.
Absolutely, and to that point too, you know, I mentioned in the memo that, you know, I use the resolution language that all the partners are using, but you can see Louisa's not reflected in that resolution language, and I'm like, you know, the next step would be, let's get involved and, have the Jack Jewett ride as part of this narrative, because, we definitely could fit easily into this.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
I'll yield to Supervisor Woodward.
Go ahead.
Okay. Ms. King, are we working with the other counties? Was this from them, or is this something that we encourage them to join us?
That's a great question. So this is from the other counties. This Greene County was actually the driving force behind this. And because we are smaller localities, a lot of the other counties, their tourism is part of their economic development. So there'll be one person doing economic development and tourism. So another reason as far as like the Go 9 region efforts, like as they're working on things, they come across these opportunities to kind of lend themselves into these different avenues. But they brought it to us, and it seemed very straightforward.
A good idea.
Mr. Woodward.
Ms. King, if in making this move to this other district, and I understand we probably have a lot more in common with a lot of those counties versus some others, but if we find out that it's just not working out as well, is there any chance to get back in the Central Virginia?
That's a great question. My understanding would be that we'd have to go through a similar process as what we're doing now, where we're requesting VTC to take that into consideration. And it was kind of interesting because, you know, since we did join this process late, I do have a meeting kind of tentatively scheduled this year with VTC to talk about destination development managers and representation. And I was saying, you know, let's talk in February. And then, you know, I got a call and they were like, no, we have a February 1st deadline, and it's a VTC deadline. So I'm not really sure kind of that behind the scenes process as far as like why there's a February 1st deadline. But my understanding would be based on that if we decide we want to rejoin Central Virginia later on, we would be held to that same deadline, you know, in a following year.
Okay. Because Hanover and Goochland, I mean, those are the two that really stick out to me, that we're leaving from there, but we're picking up to
Right.
the west and northwest. So anyway, I certainly think it's worth trying this and see. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you at all, but I will say, as far as Hanover and Goochland, we have great relationships with them. So even though we wouldn't technically be in their region anymore, I still anticipate talking to them and sharing ideas and try to get those collaborations going.
Good, yeah. Thank you, Mr.
Mr. Williams.
I move we approve it.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we approve this resolution. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, ma'am.
Yep.
Next is a resolution authorizing a pass-through appropriation for fire and EMS from the Foundation for Lake Anna Emergency Services. Mrs. Colvin.
And members of the board, I'm going to ask Mr. and Mrs. Gallagher and anybody else from the Lake Anna Foundation that would like to come up.
Big checks,
Lake
we like
Anna-
them.
Ooh, that's a pretty one.
Yes. The Lake Anna Emergency Services Foundation would like to present a donation to the county for funding to purchase brush truck equipment. So this resolution is to allocate those funds after they present them to you. Thank you. I'll take the little check. They can have the big one. Step right on up here. Thank you. Yeah. If one of y'all would like to accept it,
You want to speak
would y'all
first?
like this? Here you go.
Pat or Jane, do y'all want to make any comments before we get the check?
Pat always likes to comment.
You keep bringing checks. You get all the time you want.
I'm the talker in the family. Not really, but I'll be the spokesperson. Well, with the continued support of the Lake Anna community, we're able to continue providing funds. Lake Anna community, we established ourselves as the, fundraising arm for Newbridge Station 8, and we've tried to provide, assistance to the county in purchasing equipment and in hopes that we'd fast track some things to Station 8, but also from the comments I hear from around the county, it's enabled some other equipment to be actually provided to other stations as well. So we feel like it's been, our community has benefited the entire county, which we're excited about. This check in particular is rather small compared to some of the ones we've given you, and a good portion of it came from Bama Works, which is the foundation established by the Dave Matthews Band, their charity, and then another large portion came thanks to Diane Eves, who helps us with our marketing, and so that's where this is to fund the brush truck equipment. So.
And what does that make your total, or a rough estimate of your total since you've started?
Donations have totaled about close to $850,000. So far, we've given to the county about $650,000. We have some expenses, but we also have some money in the bank for a future large apparatus purchase. We work closely with Chief Hawk and her staff to make sure that we're not saying where the money goes, but we ask where do they need the money. So we've got some money in the bank that we're still working towards another goal. If you've gone to our website, which is a tanker truck, which I know in our community we have dry hydrants, but one of them, due to the lake level being low, is completely out of the water. So a tanker truck is just of immense importance, but that's a big ticket item, so we have our work cut out for us on that.
Well, to your point, certainly Station 8 and your efforts benefit the Lake Anna community. But the ripple effect of that is it allows equipment to be spread out over the entire county. So it actually has an effect over the entire county. And I just want to say, on behalf of myself personally and the board, though I rarely speak on behalf of the board, but I think I will now, we have 850,000 reasons to say thank you for your all's leadership, but to the dedication of the people who continue to give to make sure that emergency services are delivered in this county. Thank you all very, very much.
Been our pleasure, and we're thankful for the community that supports what we're trying to do, and we're thankful for the board, your support for fire and emergency services and law enforcement. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Now we'll take the check. Yeah.
And the check is signed by the Lake Anna community.
Love it. I guess I will.
Nobody wants a check. Look at that.
I'll
Nobody.
take it, but I feel like they should have this honor here. I have the important one over here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. So now I just need approval to appropriate the funding.
So
if
moved.
y'all so.
Second.
Is there a second? It's been properly moved and seconded that we accept this pass-through appropriation. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Again, thank you all very, very much. Thank you. Next is a resolution authorizing the assignment of fund balance to the long-term county and school capital project reserve funds. Ms. Colvin?
Yes, this is a resolution to allocate the remaining that we had from fiscal year '25 from budgeted savings and things like that the school had extra. Based on our financial policy, anything they turn back in at the end of the year, we put for savings for capital projects in their long-term capital project fund. And we've been doing that with the county funding as well, as we have some extra money there. And so this is to allocate $10,698,764 between the county and the schools for future needs, such as the next school that we may need, or some of these larger projects that are coming down the pike that you'll see in our capital project as we begin the capital project improvement plan as we begin budgeting in the next couple weeks.
So moved.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded that we approve this resolution. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. I don't know if we should be worried, but they're leaving with that great big check. I just
I got the little
just
one.
point that out. Okay, perfect. You know, I didn't have any doubt about that, Ms. Coleman. I'm glad. Next is a resolution authorizing the assignment of the fund balance to committed community development fees.
Yes, this is a resolution assigning fund balance for community development fees that we've collected this year in excess of the expenses in 2025. So per the code, the USBC Section 107, section of the Virginia Code, says any fees charged with community development for permits and things like that have to be used to fund the functions of the local building department. Well, normally we don't quite break even. We're close, but not quite. With the new Amazon fees, we have collected in excess. So this is just putting this money in an assigned fund committed that can only be used for things that would benefit for community development, or it could be part comprehensive plan things such as studies could be funded from some of these things. But this is setting aside the money to be used for the purposes we're allowed to spend it. And we cannot spend it without you guys appropriating it at a later time. But this just sets it aside so it's not spent.
So moved.
Second.
Just got a question.
Yes, sir.
If I understood you correctly, if you have an excessing fees, is there a state requirement that the fees can't be used
Yes.
for other things?
Yes.
I looked and looked and looked, and it is a requirement that it has to be used for community development functions. Now, we could look at allocations, like based on every department here touches community development at some point, but we aren't at that point to build that out yet, working on it. But until we figure out the plan on to spend it within the guidelines, this is kind of setting aside the extra money to be used at a future year when we have that plan in place.
Well, I'm sure you will continue to work on that.
I will, I
and
promise.
I'd like to see that as you come forward with it.
Absolutely.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Colvin, just so I make sure that I understood what you said.
Yes, please.
Normally, the department operates at a little bit of a deficit.
Yes.
Doesn't bring in enough fees to cover the expenses.
Yes.
But we're looking at $11,135,000, a little over that, in excess fees.
1,100,000.
Right, $1,100,000.
I thought you said 11, I'm sorry.
Well, yeah.
You started there.
I think I
corrected
started at
He cut himself.
113.
Okay.
It's just hard to believe that so much is in fees, over $1 million. And
It's-
most of that is like building permit
It's building
fees.
permits, the big chunk of it, because I set up a separate GL code to track it. It's for the Amazon permitting fees. It's not
Why don't
something
you-
we're
Why
going
don't you
to
give
have
somebody
to
example of what the small Amazon permit fee was?
I want to say like 450,000.
I think Mr. Coon
I was going to
can
say
give you
Chris probably
exactly.
knows right off.
Mr.
Is it
Coon.
400, Chris?
And I'll give you props as you come to you were obviously paying attention back there because the door was opening before the question was finished.
The smallest data center was about $388,000 for the permit fee. And then one additional item just to add to this as well is that these permits that these buildings are getting, it's a multi-year process. So that's another piece is that we're putting in a reserve fund because it's going to take a little bit of time to build them out fully and get all the permitting and all the inspections and
How
everything
much was the
done.
big one?
It was just below 500. I think the building itself was about $489,000
Just for the building permit?
for the building permit. Yes, sir.
So
I know
we'll
the answer to the
continue to
question.
get these as the buildings are built, including the project out at Shannon Hill Business Park.
Yes.
Once-
We haven't
once that
received any
ramps up.
permits for that as
Right,
well.
but
yes,
once do,
when they
then-
file their permits, and this is in addition to the data centers themselves, admin buildings, security buildings, as they go through and get all the different aspects permitted. And moving forward, this is where we plan to put the restricted funds so that as we continue to incur the cost of doing the inspections and everything, this is where
and it has to go this way because that's what Virginia law says.
the authority for us to charge the building permit fees, the intent is to defray the cost of enforcement of the uniform statewide building code. That's what the state code says. So because of it, the authority for us to do it is for that enforcement. So that's why it needs to be restricted until basically they get their final certificate of occupancies. And then that's when the Andy real estate and business personal property come into play.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Just real clear so that, this is not tax dollars. This is for fees, right?
This is building permit fees.
Now, in the past, when there's been a gap between building permit fees and community development, how have the difference been made up?
General fund.
General fund.
General fund.
Which is tax dollars?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And that's also, I mean, we have adjusted the fee schedule for community development, I think 3 times since I've been here to try and get that gap smaller and smaller.
We
but
did it. We did it.
We did it.
Success. Success. Good job, sir.
I have a
Now,
question too.
I'm
Mr. McCutter.
following up on what Mr. Barnes said. If in the past we have had to make up that difference out of the general fund, looks like to me,
Don't work like this, sir.
well, continue to work on it. Continue to work on it.
Supplanting.
The most interesting part of that was everybody up here knew where he was going to go.
Some of this monies that we had talked about early on that would be coming in other words, I understand why it's having to go back to community development, but it's some of that funding that could go to offset other things if we figured how to do it, especially if we've had to make up the difference from tax dollars previously.
Well, that's part of the reason we're setting it aside. I mean, as they build out, this is going to continue to grow, but eventually they should finish. And then we'll have this funding to make up the deficits again because we're going to need more staff. This is a large project. It's a lot on community development. So as those prices go up, they're not going to come back down. So this funding will help offset those in the end as well.
Well,
I don't know if I said that eloquently, but.
Hopefully it will cover that and some other things too, if we can figure out how to do it.
Absolutely, we can look at the allocations, and we have kind of started on it. So.
Mr. McCutter.
Question for Mr. Kuhn. The 388 and the 489 that you noted were permanent fees, was that for Lake and Technology campus buildings? Those are the only ones that have been built so far.
They have a very similar site plan, so it was one of the I forget the exact, 157,000 square feet one, and then there's another one that's a little bit larger. So the footprint is about the same, and the way that the building permit fee is calculated is it's the building type and use multiplied by the square footage. So if it's a similar plan, there's multiple that would be the same one. So that's not specifically Lake Anna Tech Campus, but we do have 4 permits from there. So I do think the smaller one is from that. But
So the 388.
the 388 is the smallest data center that AWS has got permitted.
I'm wondering if community development could buy a truck washing station and install it over there. It's because Cuckoo District residents are enduring a lot of traffic and mud, and I mean, I hear it a lot. And I don't know, that's a facetious question, obviously, but it's something that,
Jackson residents go get their trucks washed too?
excuse me?
Can the Jackson residents go get their trucks washed there too?
I'm just talking about the trucks that are coming out of AWS site.
I thought you were talking about
that are causing the
getting my
problem.
personal truck washed.
No, I'm talking about the
Could
trucks that are.
ASW buy that truck?
So I do have a question of clarification, kind of
ASW buy a truck?
what was said on this side of the table. While this money is mandated by state code to be spent on community development activities, it is not encumbered that it only has to be spent on activities related to data center development or anything else like that. So there's a potential, that's correct, right?
Correct.
So there's a potential, sort of to Mr. Barlow's point, that at least for a period of time, because as Mrs. Colvin said, eventually the construction dies off, there's the potential that community development, based on this economic development that the board and the previous board has brought to the county, that community development can be self-sufficient or self-funding or pretty close to it for a fairly substantial number of years. Would that not be an accurate statement?
That is correct.
That was my understanding. I just wanted it out here. Anybody else have any other questions? What's the pleasure of the board?
Move we approve it.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded that we approve this resolution. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Colvin, Mr. Kuhn. Next is a resolution authorizing a pass-through appropriation of the Lake Anna Advisory Committee for an Amazon Rappahannock Regional Community Fund grant. That's Mr. Goodwin and Mr. McCotter.
Sir, Mr. McCutter, I'll kick this one off, and you can correct anything that I don't add enough specificity to. So Amazon has made a community fund available for grants, and the Lake Anna Advisory Committee, through Barbara Akins, our
Navigation and safety.
Navigation and Safety Chair, thank you very much, made application to that for assistance in Lake Anna Advisory Committee's buoy management program. Lake Anna Advisory Committee manages 70 buoys on the water, I believe 48 of which are lit hazard buoys, and the balance of which are no-wake buoys for bridges, structures, and areas like that. The Amazon Fund awarded just under $10,000, $9,750, which will greatly help in offsetting costs that are continuing to increase for Lake Anna Advisory Committee. So these are for things like purchasing new buoys, for purchasing lights and supplies, for rehabbing existing buoys. And these buoys, I know many of you, if not all of you, have been out on the lake. They really do play a crucial role in safety on the lake, both for our citizens here in Louisa County and for the many, many thousands of people who visit the lake annually. So very grateful to the fund for their support of our community in this regard, as well as others. And so I would ask first if Supervisor McCotter has further specificity, and if not, I'm happy to answer questions and would like board action to appropriate these funds.
Does anybody have any questions? Did we not ask the General Assembly for an appropriation for buoy maintenance on the lake, and that was not funded, correct?
Correct.
So the funding through the Lake Anna Advisory Committee has managed to get a grant funding from AWS. So this will be taken care of, but again, without, in this case, no taxpayer dollars, and certainly not local taxpayer dollars.
Yes,
That's
sir.
correct? Okay, thank you. Any other questions? What's the pleasure of the board?
Can I just make a
Yes,
comment, Mr. Chairman? It's really expensive to maintain these buoys, and volunteers cannot do it. So that's why we actually entered into a contract to do it with people who are qualified with the right equipment and personnel to do that. And on the other hand, here's Amazon basically coming to the rescue. So this is a good example of their footprint in our community. And this is a good investment in the lake, which is an economic engine, and safe use of the lake is always wise.
So moved.
We're properly moved and second, bless you, that we approve this resolution. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next is the new standing agenda item, which is supervisor comments. I think you have something, don't you, Mr. Williams?
Yes. Thank you, sir. I just wanted to make a public declaration about a couple things. Number one, we have comprehensive town halls coming up. The next one is Wednesday at Trevilian's, and the one after that is the 14th at Jewett Elementary School. The county is undergoing some tremendous change right now. We've already undergone a lot. It's a time to come and see and look at some of the maps, and be able to put some input and get a feel for what's happening out there. Get in the car or a truck and you ride around the Jackson district, and I would, we have no growth areas we're the only district in the county that doesn't have a growth area. But I would venture to bet you that we have probably the most residential new construction that's happened in probably the county wide. And that's not educated, that's just a guess, but there are so many new houses there. I know staff, I serve on the Ag and Forestal Committee. I know staff's been working on some ideas and some thoughts. I'd like to encourage them to get them to us quickly. I'd like to see some things we can do to start limiting some of the residential growth in the A1, A2 that's not in the growth areas. I'm prepared to stand behind that, move forward, and if necessary, burn or expend as much political capital as I need to. So Tammy, you can write that one down. You can quote that one. I'm not sure whether it's going to be burning or expending, but in my term, it's going to be expending because I think it's important. We've probably almost lost the county. We've got to do some things if we're going to maintain some of the rural nature. It's real, it's in real time, and we've got to get serious about it. And I'm talking about, I want to see something, I'd be willing to see something as soon as the next meeting that we can push forward to the Planning Commission if that's even possible. I'm not sure it is. We need to get this and we need to get it done and make it happen. Thank you.
Any other supervisors have any comments during this? Yes, ma'am.
I just want to say a special shout out to, we had such a phenomenal Christmas season in our county. Our county is truly a hallmark county, and it goes to special people and special organizations, and the town of Louisa, you guys just knocked it out of the park with all the festivities you had throughout the holiday season. Our Parks and Rec, oh my gosh, that is such a dedicated team, and town too right there, but our Parks and Rec, the dedicated team, and just thank them and you guys for just reaching every one of us and making the Christmas season so special in our county.
All credit to a great team. Thank you.
No?
Yes.
Yeah, you were first. I got you.
Kind of following along behind what Rachel said, I think most everybody's aware that there's a train
Yes.
going from the town of Louisa out on excursions. If you haven't had a chance, which it was really hard to get tickets, but if you haven't had a chance, Virginia Scenic Railway is hoping to sometime this month start, and if you go to their website, they actually have a thing on a column in there now, because for the Christmas, the Santa train tickets, you had to go under the Stanton stuff. Now we actually have one of our own, and it's called the Louisa Flyer. And they're going to run 2 different versions of that. The first one is a 3-hour train trip that will run somewhere up near the quarry in Albemarle at Shadwell. It's actually between the quarry and the river before you go over into the city.
Red Hill.
That's a 3-hour trip, dinner trip. The other one's going to be an extended trip, same route, but it'll go through the city of Charlottesville to up in the Ivy area and stop there. There's a siding there that actually their train out of Stanton comes to there. The one that comes east through the tunnel, through the Blue Ridge Tunnel, comes to there. So that's going to be an approximately 4-hour trip that also will serve a meal. All that information is that is now on their website. What they don't have is they don't have any dates to schedule yet because they aren't really sure exactly the date they're going to start. But that's what their intentions are. They're going to expand out from there. They're going to have wine trips and brunch trips and lunch trips and all kinds of trips. But we're just so thankful that they chose the Louisa Depot to do this out of. They run the track from Doswell to Clifton Forge and some areas off of that, but that's their main piece of track. They could have chosen any other depot to have done this out of, and they chose the Louisa Depot. And it is just really exciting. I'm really excited for the town of Louisa. I think that it's really revitalized the folks right here in the central part of the county in particular, but I think throughout the county for sure. I know Cindy is really working hard to help and do everything she can from a county standpoint. So I just wanted not to lengthen this, but I just wanted to bring that up. And hopefully, if people haven't heard about it. So Virginia Scenic Railway, it's owned by Buckingham Branch, all run by those fine folks. And it's really awesome. I was fortunate, Debbie and I were fortunate to get tickets for the Spirit Train. And that was great. Also went on a test run for the dinner train. I can tell you the food was amazing. Our new mayor in the town was also on that trip. She can share that with you as well. It's a very professional organization. Their service on the trains is awesome. The cars are awesome. It's just great. The other thing, Mr. Chair, if you just bear with me for a moment, when I saw this new column of supervisor comments, I'm just glad to see. I was kind of concerned, if anybody in here is familiar with Festivus, there was an airing of the grievances at Festivus with Mr. Costanza. I'm just glad it's not that type of thing.
Yeah, me
So
too.
I'm appreciative.
Well, I'm just thrilled about how popular this is. I mean, Mr. Barlow even has a comment.
That's really funny.
I just have a comment in that I would like to thank Deputy Chief Chris Lee for his update on the Holly Grove Tower. It looks like that is finally going to get something going on it. And in your meeting Wednesday, take a torch with you.
Light a fire?
Huh?
Light a fire?
Now just keep it going.
Yeah, I got you. Good.
Roll on up that
Mr.
tower.
Chairman, I'll make it brief. There are those in the community that do not feel that the data centers are something that they can get behind. But let me tell you, not only do they do grants, Rappahannock Community Fund grants, but they also do other things in our community. And one of which I was able to participate on, which was I rode the Santa train, as Supervisor Woodward has mentioned, and it was an incredible evening because that entire evening was an IWS planned and paid for event for people in our community that they did not have the means to bring Christmas to their young people, like many other people. So AWS brought them not only the train ride, but they brought them Santa Claus, and they brought every child what they wanted as far as a gift. And I'm not talking about a basketball. I'm talking about bicycles. I literally carted a bicycle off the train for one of the mothers. So when we want to be the first to cast a stone, let's think about it and think about the positivity that 2026 will bring from some of our corporate partners as well.
I have two things. One, even though Mr. Barnes did not participate in supervisor comments, I think it should not go unnoted that today, on our very first meeting, is Mr. Barnes' birthday. So I'd like to wish him a happy birthday. And secondly, I would like to ask staff to provide details and acreage information on the undeveloped land assemblages that have a TOD zoning at the board's January 20th meeting.
Sure.
As I stated last June, I was opposed to additional data center development then, and I remain opposed now. And I would very much want to look at sending these parcels back to the Planning Commission to reevaluate the current zoning designations. So we can bring that up at a future board meeting, but I'd like to ask to have that done. Before we close this new and obviously well-liked agenda item, is there anybody else that would like to have anything else? All right. Now we'll move on to reports, officers, boards, and standing committees. First is committee reports. Do we have any committee reports? Mr. Woodward?
Just wanted briefly, the Commission on Aging Christmas luncheon. It was December the 11th. We had, I believe, and Mr. Barnes, I think, can maybe help me with this, just over 200 people that were there and were served. It was only my second one, but I can tell you it was by far the best one. I think they're getting better. I think it will continue to. The people had a wonderful time. I'd like to recognize the band that for, I think, the third year has been there. The Big Gavel, I think's the name of Big Gavel Band, of which Bud Delaney, who lives here in town, is a member of, and I think that the other members are retired judges, which is why the name of the band. They are just awesome, and my understanding is they do this and they don't charge a dime. And I can tell you they can really play the music, and the people got up and danced. It was wonderful. The food was great, thanks to Supervisor Barnes, the other supervisor members that were there. Thank you. We look forward. We're hoping to have something a picnic type of thing sometime this summer, which would be a first. So anyway, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir. Any other report? Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to give a brief report from the Lake Anna Advisory Committee. On your station, you have the 2025 annual report called The State of Lake Anna. In it, you will find sections on our Finance Committee, the Environmental Committee, the Safety Committee, the Recreation Subcommittee, and the Government Subcommittee, as well as a Chairman's report. I would invite you to review that so you can familiarize yourself with the amazing things that volunteers are doing for Lake Anna and for the rest of our county. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Any other committee reports? All right, next is board appointments, and we have a long list because it's the first meeting of the year. Mr. Williams?
Mr. Chair, I'm sorry. If Ellis Hoare's on that list, I think he's the one that.
He's on an addition.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, good.
Mr. Chairman, I move we reappoint Mr. John Disasway to the Planning Commission for the Mineral District, Mr. Dustin Madison to the IDA for the Mineral District, Mr. Ryan Underwood to the Parks and Rec Committee for the Mineral District, Mr. Donald Bishop to the IDA for the Patrick Henry District, Mr. Nathan Newcomb to the IDA for the Mountain Road District, Ms. Dawn Lipscomb to the Parks and Rec Committee for the Mountain Road District, Mr. Kevin McLeod to the BZA to replace a vacant position once held by Gerald Bowles, and that would to appoint Mr. James Calmer, Region 10 Board of Directors for a term length of 3 years beginning July 1, 2026. It doesn't take place for a little bit. Mr. Jim Dickerson to the Planning Commission for the Green Springs, Mr. Mark Tubbs to the IDA for the Green Springs District, Mr. Ellis Quarles to the Planning Commission, Patrick Henry, Mrs. Mildred Quarles to the Parks and Rec Committee, and Mr. Chad, for Patrick Henry, and Mr. Chad Hensley to the Parks and Rec Committee for Green Springs. That's what I thought. That's it.
Are there any other appointments? All right, is there a second? Second. Did you have anything?
No.
Yeah. All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Those appointments pass unanimously. Next is the county administrator's report. Mr. Goodwin.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman and members of the board, a few items to bring to your attention. Mr. Williams already talked about the comprehensive plan meetings. I do want to note that we're in the planning stages for one, either at TJ or the middle school. We've reached out to the schools to see what would be the best facility from their standpoint, so watch out for an additional one coming there after the 14th. Our audit has been completed. We have the final version that's been shared with you all. It's also available online for the public's review. As you're well aware, the budget process is well underway. We've had an initial presentation to the Planning Commission already, and another one coming up this week. So we'll definitely be heading into the thick of that over the next few weeks. Supervisor Jones and I had the opportunity to speak at the graduation for the Fire and EMS recruit class, which was 16 people, I believe.
Yeah, it was a big one.
100% pass rate, which is very rare air in fire and emergency services. So big kudos to Chief Hawk and the department's training coordinator and the staff, who really did a great job putting that together. It was a great ceremony and just a great group of people joining our team. Page 140, there's information from the state on the Cuckoo Elementary School being added to the National Register of Historic Places. If you'd like to review that, there's also a progress report for the Virginia Telecommunications Initiative broadband project that's going on in many localities in the state, including Louisa, as we near the end of ours this year. One other thing on broadband. As you all know, there have been some issues with railroad crossings out near Kentucky Springs Road. I'm happy to report that it appears that a resolution is in sight, and based on the emails I was reviewing today, it looks like they'll be scheduling construction in the very near future for that. So I know that will bring relief to citizens who are waiting for that connectivity. That concludes my prepared remarks. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Does anyone have any questions, Mr. Goodwin? All right, thank you, sir. Now we'll move on to the public hearing we have tonight, which is an ordinance approving the exemption from real estate taxes and personal property taxes by classifications for the Fluvanna Louisa Housing Foundations. That's Ms. Smith and is Mrs. Fletcher here?
She is.
Oh, yeah, I see. There's always there's a blocked out spot right there. I see you.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. This ordinance amends Chapter 70 taxation to add Section 7232 to provide tax exempt status for the Fluvanna Louisa Housing Foundation with respect to certain real estate property and personal property that the foundation uses strictly for charitable purposes. The foundation is a 509A foundation, which falls under a 501c3. Are there any questions regarding this ordinance?
No, ma'am. Any questions of Mrs. Smith? Okay. Is there any, I'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone here that wishes to speak on this public hearing? Mrs. Hart? I just automatically knew that, but you had so much positivity the first time. I was looking forward to it.
There it is. Vicki Hart, Town of Louisa. I have two questions. Number one,
Use the mic.
two questions. Number one, are any of those properties located in the town of Mineral or Louisa? And does it affect their property tax income, or is it going to also apply to that? And number two, if any additional properties are acquired, is it going to retroactively apply to all of those or just to the ones that are listed in the documentation? Because it does specifically list certain properties, and so I'm wondering about the future effects with you approving these right here. That's it.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there anyone else that would wish to address the board? All right, seeing that, I'll close the public hearing. And those are two good questions. And I would assume, based on this resolution, since it specifically lists the tax parcels, that any future purchases of real estate would have to come back and go through the same process. Is that correct?
And the county can't waive town taxes.
Yeah, and yeah, we can only waive county taxes,
We
not
can't waive
town
your
taxes.
taxes.
So your taxes would not, or the town of Mineral, would not be affected by that. Yes. Ms.
Along
Brown.
those same lines, if any of those properties go out of the housing foundation, they are sold out, then the tax relief is over.
That's correct.
All right. Yes, ma'am.
And I just want to say, I sit on the board for the Housing Foundation, and this will help. This is benefiting the most vulnerable members of our community and supporting them. And we also support financially this nonprofit as a county because we know how beneficial it is. This helps our most vulnerable members, our senior members of our community. This is not that we're exempting taxes just for no reason. This will go a long way to help the foundation put that money back into helping our seniors and those who need the assistance in housing. And I really believe this is what counties need to do. We need to invest in those citizens that need some assistance. And in that foundation, all that money is just, it's not going to anyone's pockets. It's going directly back to help the foundation to continue to stay strong and support those who are in need.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Burns.
I didn't participate, and I'm going to speak more as we go forward. But the housing, I'm going to be an advocate for affordable housing, and I always have been one. And I understand some of the things that Mr. Williams said earlier tonight, but I am concerned about people's ability to own a home in Louisiana. I'm very concerned about that. And this coming from a guy who didn't have running water, who grew up with no running water until I was 17 years old, a guy who used an outhouse, a guy who didn't know, if you came to my house to visit us, the pot was in my room. I know what it's like to be in substandard housing, and you fooling yourself and you think everybody in Louisiana got a bathroom. We still got some people that don't have bathrooms. And so I understand it's going to be a balance, but we got to strike a balance. We cannot forget those people. And I know how the market works, and I know, but we cannot leave out those people who have to have a roof over their head.
Yep.
And while I'm on this board, I will always advocate for that. So I support this. We don't make a motion. I'm in favor of it.
So moved.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded that we approve this ordinance. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously, Mr. Barnes.
So moved.
Properly moved and seconded that we adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting adjourned.
The good thing about